A very special Halloween edition of All Out Destruction Tour starts now.
Destruction! Are you talking guys with the sucking blade? Run destruction! Engines roar, skies ignite, metal beasts in endless fight. Tires crush the earth, fuel-fed chaos giving birth. Madness reigns, no retreat. Feel the thunder, feel the heat. Through the flames we rise, monsters in the sky.
Happy Halloween, everybody. It is Saturday Tour, and last week they freestyled, this week they're racing as we take a look at the point standings with Son of a Digger in a commanding lead with 120 points. Behind him, we have Black Pearl, then Gravedigger, still undefeated. He's here tonight. TRD Tacoma in 4th. Northern Nightmare in 5th place with Bulldozer in 6th, Wildside in 7th, Vendetta in 8th, El Toro Loco in 9th, and then Brutus wrapping up your top 10. Now, we have had quite the first half of the season as we pass the halfway point. So needless to say, these points are becoming very, very important as we get a look at our first race of the night. And this is going to be Destroyer taking the line. Destroyer driven by Eggs Benedict out of York Springs, Pennsylvania. Destroyer looking to get himself back on track as he's really struggled in racing this season. He'll be going up against El Toro Loco, driven by Falf, another guy who's done really well in freestyle, but he seems to keep coming up short in racing out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Falf looking to turn it around tonight. So let's get ready for some round one Halloween monster truck racing, ladies and gentlemen. El Toro Loco versus Destroyer. Both these guys would certainly love to move up the point standings, so a win here would certainly go a long way for them in trying to create a World Finals berth. As we both get started, both trucks facing each other on this, what looks like a figure eight track, but ends up turning into a Chicago style. Falf in El Toro Loco has a lead, and oh no, the problems just keep going for Destroyer as Falf is going to pick up a win and just drive straight into Eggs Benedict. It looks like Falf's going to have to bust out that second El Toro Loco truck to continue racing as Eggs Benedict and Destroyer just continuing to have just the worst luck this season as that wall ends his race night early. Next up, we got Rage, someone who has really kind of had his moments this season, driven by Sid. Joined us late into the season, but he's been here for the majority of these events, and he'll be taking on Northern Nightmare. Northern Nightmare driven by Mile Proto out of Lloydminster, Alberta, Canada. So he doesn't just talk the Canadian talk, he walks the Canadian walk, or skates the Canadian skate, I guess you would say, because they love ice hockey up there in Canada. But can he rep Canada tonight as we get these guys heading into the first turn? Both drivers looking very strong. As you notice that jump is very steep, very aggressive. It's going to cause drivers all sorts of problems tonight. So we'll be keeping an eye on that jump as this race comes to an end, and Miles Proto in Northern Nightmare does finish the race first, but it'll be interesting to see if he got both tires on that jump, because it's very important that you don't catch a 5-second penalty. As you take a look there, it does look like he did not get both tires on that jump, giving him a 5-second penalty, which is going to disqualify him from winning this race. And that means that Rage, with Sid at the helm, is going to be moving on to the second round. So we're going to keep that TRD Rage rivalry together on this very special Saturday Tour edition of AODT. Next up, we got Carolina Crusher driven by D Wheeler, who has been one of the top racers on the Saturday Tour out of Fenton, Michigan. One part of the duo, the Wheelers. His wife, Elle Wheeler, also drives Time Flies, and he'll be going up against Vendetta, driven by Overkill Evo out of Houston, Texas. Now, Vendetta has really struggled in racing and freestyle this season, so he's going to need something big. He does have the skills. He just seems to always come up short, as he looks very strong at the start of his race. Both trucks look about even at the halfway point into that final turn. This is where Carolina Crusher turns up the juice as Vendetta continues with his problems and rolls over the back berm, giving D Wheeler and Carolina Crusher a big victory to move forward into the next round. Tough break for Vendetta as his racing night comes to an end early. But from one Wheeler to the next, we got Time Flies, who's going to be driven by Elle Wheeler out of Fenton, Michigan, married to D Wheeler, the driver of Carolina Crusher. And her opponent tonight will be Wildside, driven by Mr. Luna. Mr. Luna, of course, coming out of Houston, Texas. Hasn't had the best season so far, but he's only a little bit away from breaking out and doing something really special. But again, he's going to have to slow down Elle Wheeler and Time Flies, who's just been on an absolute tear in racing lately. Very rarely does she not make it out of round number one, as both trucks are dead even at the halfway point. Into that final turn, Elle Wheeler sticking it to Luna, and she's going to cross the finish line first, continuing her great winning record in round one racing. She's absolutely fearless, and rightfully so, because her driving skills are improving week after week. She's become such a force. As we get ready for our next race, El Toro Loco back out on the track after his round one victory. And he's going to have his hands full as we wait for his opponent to come on out from the back. And that is Son of a Digger, your current points leader heading into this event. Driven by Evil Nexus out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Has a couple freestyle victories, has a couple racing wins this season, and that's why he is sitting pretty at the top of the points. So needless to say, El Toro Loco and Phelps got his hands filled in this race here, going up against Son of a Digger, Evil Nexus. But anything can happen on these racetracks. One mistake, one wrong read, you never know. As we get ready for round two action, Falf in El Toro Loco versus Evil Nexus in Son of a Digger, as both trucks look strong at the halfway point. I would dare say that Son of a Digger has a bit of a lead, so it's all going to come down to this final turn. And oh man, Falf somehow turns on the juice and is able to pull out a victory, big victory over Son of a Digger. Let's see what happened there. As you can see, Nexus looks like he loses those back tires a bit coming into that final jump, and in order to not get a 5-second penalty, he had to correct, and that was all El Toro Loco and Falf needed to pick up a big time win in this event over your current points leader. As this next race coming up here with TRD, Toyota Racing Development, driven by Tay2 Valid out of St. Louis, Missouri. I'll tell you what, the rivalry between him and Sid in Rage has been going on all season long. And right now, Toyota is up in that rivalry racing 2-1 right now. So if Rage were to pick up a win tonight, he would even out the rivalry. And I'm sure he's going to be looking to do that as Tay gets a pretty big lead heading into that final turn. I don't know what happened to Rage and Sid. He just looks kind of lost out there as Tay, too valid in Toyota Racing Development, opens up that rivalry to a 3-1 victory now over Rage. So your winner, TRD Racing Development, big win for Tay as that rivalry begins to stretch further out as we get ready for Black Pearl, driven by Racing Razor, one of our elite racers out of New York, driving that PEI chassis, one of the few guys left racing it, as many have abandoned it due to its fragility. And he'll be racing against D-Wheeler and Carolina Crusher. These two have not met yet this season, and I'm looking for a straight-up barn burner race here between these two, as both of these drivers are very, very talented racers. Into the first turn, both guys get into that turn quick. I would dare say that Carolina Crusher has a bit of an edge, but Raisin Racer in Black Pearl catches up quickly into that final turn. It's anybody's race, and Carolina Crusher is going to edge this one out just barely over Raisin Racer. And man, that was our closest race of the night so far. As we take a look here, just the slightest margin, probably half a truck length for Carolina Crusher and D. Wheeler, who was able to pull it out on Racing Razor. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a chassis change for him coming up in the future, because as great as that PEI is as a racer, it really struggles in freestyle, and I made the switch. I'd imagine we'll see him making the switch soon as we get ready for Mr. Undefeated himself, Gravedigger, driven by Sweats out of North Carolina. Sweats again, undefeated. Elle Wheeler in Time Flies looking to do whatever she can to try to knock this man off of his winning streak that he's had all season long. And it doesn't look like she's going to be able to get it done this round, as Sweats jumps out to about a full truck length lead into that final turn. And Elle Wheeler gets herself in all sorts of trouble as Sweats is going to continue his dominance as he picks up another win here in Season 4. As he just continues doing what he does best, and that is win races. As we get ready for our next race, El Toro Loco versus TRD Tacoma, Falf versus Tay2 Valid, and you can see Falf already trying to get in the head of Tay2 Valid with that smoke. Falf loves messing with his opponents. He's out here just having a good time, as this is their first time facing each other in semifinals. Two guys you don't typically see here in the semifinals. But anything can happen in this all-out destruction tour racing that you see here, especially on the track like this where the dirt is way different than most of the dirt you see on these other tracks. It's very sticky, very coarse. The tires are really grounded to this stuff, which gives you more traction, but you won't be able to drift those turns like you can see on other tracks. As this race gets started, Tay comes firing out of that straightaway into the first turn as Falf makes up the difference. They are dead even at the half, so it's all going to come down to this final turn. Who wants it more? As Falf is going to somehow manage to pull out this victory. I don't know what happened to TRD Tacoma, because they were way closer at the halfway point, and Falf just finished way stronger, closing out that race like an absolute veteran that he is. And sometimes that's all it takes, folks. Just close the race out strongly, and you can end up with a lot of W's in the column. So Falf finding himself a finals berth for the first time this season, but who will he face? Gravedigger in the undefeated Sweats, who I gotta say, if you've paid attention so far, my money would be on him, but someone is stepping up to stop him, and that's Carolina Crusher, driven by D. Wheeler. These two have faced before, and D. Wheeler has come on so strong as a racer this season that I think that he has a very good chance of dishing the first L to Gravedigger this season. Can he do it? As Sweats needs to be dethroned, because it is getting crazy out there, this winning streak. Into the first turn, you see Sweats just absolutely takes those corners so perfectly. He's got a big lead heading into the second turn against D. Wheeler and Carolina Crusher, but Sweats does get a little slow. That race is going to come down to it, and I couldn't tell right away who it was. Let's look at the replay, and yeah, Sweats still wins, but you got to give all the credit in the world to D. Wheeler and Carolina Crusher, who really closed the gap on that second half of the track and almost ended up pulling that one out, as Gravedigger is going to go on to the finals. No surprise here, as this man has made a living winning races, and his opponent, El Toro Loco, for the first time this season, he's made it to the finals in racing, and boy, what a guy to race in Gravedigger. As we take a look at the stats, Sweats out of North Carolina going up against Falf out of Mooresville, North Carolina. So just a couple of Carolina boys in this final, looking to duke it out on the monster truck dirt track. I mean, what better matchup, right? Two monsters on Halloween. Sweats and Falf, two Carolina boys. I'll tell you what, if Sweats would want to lose to anybody, why not another Carolina boy? As Dennis Anderson, Gary Porter, so many great trucks have come out of that state. But here we go, finals time. Place your bets as we get going with the finals. Both trucks look strong into the first turn. About halfway point, they are dead even. Oh my God, Sweats gets in trouble into that final turn. Can he figure it out? No, Falf is gonna dethrone Gravedigger. Oh my God, David versus Goliath. El Toro Loco and Falf has done it. Oh man, I could not have written a better story. Falf, the underdog, one of the most beloved drivers in the pits, figures out a way to take down one of the greatest drivers in All Out Destruction Tour. I am honestly breathless sitting here right now, folks, because I thought that maybe it could happen in the World Finals, but it could have been possible that Sweats figured out a way to go undefeated all season long. But the man, the myth, the legend, Falf in El Toro Loco gets to the finals and dethrones the king of racing himself, and you can see just how excited Falf is, as he's going to be riding high, and out of nowhere, here comes Gravedigger and sneak attacks him, destroying El Toro Loco. Let's try to get a word with Falf after that huge win. So Falf, big win tonight. Defeated Sweats, who hasn't lost all season long. What are you feeling right now, man?
Man, I can't believe it. Honestly, I've been practicing hard all week, and the truck felt really good. So I thought I had a chance, a chance at going rounds, but maybe not beating Sweats. But definitely much needed win. I've been kind of having a tough season, getting knocked out pretty early in the races, but the truck felt good and it worked. A little trouble with his truck, so.
We're looking forward to seeing what you got for us in the rest of the season. We're going to be seeing El Toro Loco in the winner circle again.
I hope so. I'm going to try to keep it cooking. I know, Nexus and Nismo and Chicken, all a bunch of people will try to help me tune this thing, and we're going to try to keep it cooking.
Yeah, you're one of the few guys who run a Willman. I think maybe the only guy on the tour that runs a Willman right now. That old chassis.
They're dropping. There's very few of them, yeah.
Getting it done, man. Well, I know that a lot of people are rooting for you, and as I always say, a consummate showman, man. So keep doing your thing. So after one of the wildest nights of racing in All Out Destruction Tour, this is what the point standings are looking like for the Saturday Tour. Son of a Digger still in first place with a commanding lead of 140 points. Behind him, Black Pearl with 123. Gravedigger, driven by Sweats, taking his first loss of the season tonight with 90 points, still sitting comfortably in third. In fourth place, TRD, right on his heels with 88. Northern Nightmare in fifth. Falf now moves up to sixth place with his big racing win. El Toro Loco with 80. Wildside with 79. Vendetta in eighth. Bulldozer in ninth. And now Destroyer has moved up to 10th place. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor. I'm wishing you happy Halloween, and for the rest of the All Out Destruction Tour, I'll see you guys on the next one. Sunday Freestyle. Let's do it.